G7 summit witnessed an unexpected development when US President Donald Trump left early amid Israel-Iran tensions. However, President Trump said he is looking at better than ceasefire between Iran and Israel, adding that he wants a real end to the conflict between as the conflict dominated the G7 talks. The US president also suggested that Russia and maybe even China should be part of the organization, adding that excluding Russia was a big mistake. The group of 7 nations expressed support for Israel in a statement and labeled its rival Iran as a source of instability in the Middle East, with G7 leaders urging broader de-escalation of hostilities in the region. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Canada to attend the G7 summit, his first visit to Canada in a decade. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also hold several bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the summit coming over the month after India's Operation Sindoor. Sumita Karir is joining with more details on Modi's G7 visit. Sumita, what should we look out for from this visit?
Yes, absolutely, Ankur. Lots to look forward to as far as this edition of the G7 is concerned. Ankur, you must have also seen that a lot of unprecedented happenings have happened. We've seen Donald Trump cut short that visit to the G7. He's departed early, and of course the press secretary then issued a clarification along with President Donald Trump stating that he had something urgent, which is perhaps more important than a ceasefire. So of course all investors and geopolitical experts and basically everybody is looking at what that more important thing than ceasefire is going to be so far as the Donald Trump administration is concerned. So we can expect some clarity to come in on that front. Secondly, you asked about, what does it really hold for India? Well, India could have had an opportunity, the Prime Minister could have had an opportunity to meet with Donald Trump. Perhaps conversations would have centered around the deal that India and the United States are negotiating as of now, which are moving in a positive direction. However, that's not really a big miss. But what's going to dominate today evening's headlines so far as G7 is concerned is going to be the several bilaterals that the Prime Minister has planned. We're given to understand from sources that the Prime Minister is going to have meetings, one-on-ones or bilateral meetings with premiers from Italy, from Canada, from Germany. So these are going to be important, particularly the one that's related to Canada, given the fact that in 2023, India and Canada saw a dip in their ties. In fact, ties worsened. They've never been so much worse. And of course, they perhaps reached their nadir, given the fact that Justin Trudeau's administration, who's the former Prime Minister of Canada, and the way he handled separatist elements. And of course, there was an allegation that was made at India that India's role and perhaps India was involved in assassinating Hardeep Singh
Thank you,
Nijjar,
Sumita, for all those details.